Welcome to the show, everybody. By the way, this might be a little bit inappropriate for some viewers because I'm done hiding. Now I'm shining. Uh, yeah, like I'm born to be. By the way, it's Friday, you bastards.
The internet brings comic fans around the world into one comic book community. Comic creators and comic fans, tonight you are seen, heard, recognized, because comics are for everyone. Live from Miami, Florida, broadcasting around the world, this is the Not Near Mint Show.
So welcome to the show, everybody. I don't know if anybody noticed what I was quoting at the very beginning of the show. Michael and I have both watched this week. I didn't know it existed prior to this week, but if you are a father of young girls, or if you're just some guy that just was looking for something to watch one night on Netflix and stumbled upon something called K-pop Demon Hunters, well, you might know what we're talking about. Watch that, and I loved it. It's probably my favorite thing that has been animated in the last several years. But we'll talk about that and Peacemaker Season 2 that we just watched earlier this week, and that's going to lead into some interesting new things. So how you doing, Mike?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I binge watched the entire movie. I think by the same animation studio that did Into the Spider-Verse. Is that true, or is that just a rumor?
It would not surprise me, but learning what I've learned about that movie since then, it feels like the reason why we like it as much as we did is that somebody studied to try and become a K-pop singer over in that country, and over 10 years they went, well, you're going to debut. Well, maybe not yet. Oh, the pandemic hit. So she goes to NYU. She learns how to speak English, gets herself a proper education. She comes back. She's ready to debut, and you're too old. So much like Sia, she starts doing her own writing, songwriting, and her first big project was this. And now songs that are beating, like, I think it's called, what is it? Blacklist, Black Pop, I don't know. There's some famous K-pop group. She's beating them in the charts right now. So I find that great. I love a good positive story. And if you haven't watched it out there, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's silly, good fun. But yeah, the tunes are fun. It's silly. It's a little bit anime. It gives you a little bit K-pop. But yeah, the Demon Hunters are for the comic book fans too. So you can have some adventure as well. And a little bit of romance, guys.
I mean, to be fair, the bad guys of the movie are about as dangerous as Murky and Lurky from Rainbow Bright.
Yeah, it's the threat, the idea of a threat if they don't win the hearts of their fans over this boy band, which are demons. So it's the demon boy band versus the demon hunter girl band, and they're fighting it out for the hearts of the fans around the world. So, yeah.
And like Romeo and Juliet, they fall in love because one of them is I hate to call it this, but half-breed. One is part demon and part human, and she's ashamed of her demonness. And not to give too much of the story away, but it does lean into the believe in yourself, and maybe the story along the way is the friends we made. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The top 10, here they are. This is the week 3 of August. So here it is, the top 10. And again, this is based off of my 28,944 books. I just checked that before going live. And probably as of Monday, because a buddy of mine, Jared, just sent Chew, the first issue, signed by the creators. Can't wait to get that, and most of the series. So by the time that comes in, I will now roll over 29,000. But within CLZ, I hit that value update button because I have it linked to CovrPrice, and CovrPrice, it updates regularly. So I only do this list on Thursday nights. I run it and I spit it out, and here we go. These are the bottom 5 books that I registered this week. So I'll change the camera on over and let's take a look and see what that might be. Starting off with number 10, we have
Oh boy. Oh my God, no.
I'll punch the camera, folks.
So mad is he that this went down in price. So mad.
Oh, well, when you hear how badly it went down, because I reported on this about maybe 3-4 months ago when it was up. But these are different times and people are investing in those FOMO books. So while other people are FOMOing, if you've been trying to fill in your issues of certain things, now might be that time. So here we go. Star Spangled War Stories 154 in a very fine minus, 7.5 condition, raw, 1971 book. $20 somebody paid for this.
Whoa.
Higher mid-grade, $20. It has dropped $130.
Oh God.
That's where we are. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. If you might have just picked this up for a bit more because someone else got it for 20. And something that I can't even quite report on this week because I was about 3 minutes late to it. There was an auction. It was in the middle of the week and I really wanted it. It was the first appearance of Eclipso and about maybe a VG plus, maybe a 5.0 raw, $40.
Whoa.
The lowest God. I see it going for is like 150. That's the starting. But yeah, that's where we are. So badly that number 9, Planet Comics #1, Volume 3, the Dave Stevens Good Girl cover that's been homaged quite a lot lately, in fact. Came out in 1988 and in a high grade 8.5 raw, very fine plus, $109. This was approaching $250. It has dropped half the value. You can get it for $109, maybe even less. It is down $127. Yeah, Connor got his for a book. I believe it because prior to the movie coming out, Comic Tom, back in, I believe, 2019 or maybe 2020, before the pandemic, was talking about Dave Stevens. And that's when I was right in the middle of getting all these Dave Stevens books, and they went up a bit, not by a lot. This one here was always about $100 book, but after a while, it crept up a bit. But it was the movie. It was this documentary on Dave Stevens' life that made all these things really hit, but it's now 3 years old. So they're coming back down. So if you're looking for these, it's probably a bit easier to find. Now, the next one, it's likely because we only see miniseries, but we got Gru the Wanderer, number 7. First appearance of Chakal, female warrior equal to Gru in skill. So just this past weekend, we had Red Sonja come to theaters. It was a very limited release. It made not much money, and now it's going to home video. I haven't seen it yet, but apparently it didn't qualify enough to get that very wide release. But Gru was telling a comedic parody story back in the early 80s, and it's still being told to this day, much like Usagi Yojimbo. So to watch this book here that used to be easily on average a $50 book, First Chakal from 1984, issue 7 of Gru the Wanderer from Pacific, volume 1, $4. It is down $76. Not like there's a lot of sales fees.
Yeah, not many people. I would guess not a lot of people know about Gru. I would guess people who like Gru already have that book. Because who are new fans of Gru coming on? Because the biggest problem is they will not reprint Gru. So because Sergio does not want it in a omnibus, does not want it in a collected edition. They had a few smaller collected editions, but since he doesn't want to collect it, it's hard to bring in new fans to Gru because that's how you get new fans of Gru is like, oh, here's a collected graphic novel. People recommend it, so new people read it. So I wonder if everybody who has the issue already had it. So that's why it's probably going down.
That might explain books like this going down, because if you're a war fan, chances are you are not young. Chances are you have some gray in your hair. And anybody that wants those books likely have them. And now that people that are much older are dying off and they're coming back to market, it's kind of like how I've been explaining to people that live in legal weed states. The reason why the prices are crashing is because you have a shop on every other block, sometimes on the same block, and there's way too much of it and not enough people that want it. And I guess that's how you get a situation like this. How else can you get like an ounce of really, really good stuff for like $80 in some of those places around the country? The prices are crashing there. The prices are kind of crashing here too. But if you like Gru the Wanderer and you've been wanting Chakal, you might even be able to get this for the first 8 issues for about $50 or under. Perhaps. It's a good story, and I do recommend it. That's number 8.
I would add
number
the later,
7.
the,
No
the
real
later issues
reason.
are more expensive because there was such a limited run on them. So if you want the later issues in the collection, not as easy to find.
Oh, yeah. The final issue I just got recently for $40, but I got most of the run from my friend Jared because he had all those final issues and I got them pretty cheap, but he didn't have the final issue. So I picked that up for $40. But I think that's going to be the most expensive book of the entire run.
Yeah, probably.
And then you have this, where once upon a time before the Aquaman 2 movie, this was being hyped up that, hey, Dolphin's going to be in a movie. Like, she's barely in the comic. She's barely made appearances ever. I mean, she's made appearances in Aquaman, but I don't know who thought that this was going to happen. But in any case, this book here was just recently homaged on, I can't even remember the comic, but it's a recent homage. So to see this drop, I'm a little surprised, but not altogether shocked because let's face it, everything's going down. Most everything, not everything.
I would say, yeah, I think that's desired because of the cover, because it's green and it's striking. And I know a lot of people.
Pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the character people liked. It was the cover, I think.
It was the legs that take up half the cover. And just look at that face. It looks so Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Well, it dropped. Fine plus 6.5 raw. Oh, wait, sorry. The 6.0 fine. 1968 book, $86. It is down 64. I got this from Jared. I've been bringing up his name a lot tonight. I should have brought him on. I got this from Jared's claim sale a while back, and it was like $40. So I was very happy to get it.
That's good.
Now, the next one is surprising. Amazing Spider-Man 194, first appearance of Black Cat, Felicia Hardy. Bye, Felicia. If you needed this book, you can get it for a little cheaper now because a lot more copies have come to market because we're kind of maybe, who knows, expecting that the redhead from Stranger Things to maybe be her, maybe, or maybe be Gwen Stacy. But in any case, more of these books came to market, and early direct from 79 has that strike through it. I was given this by a friend of mine, Rebecca Solomon, years ago for helping her out at a garage sale. And she goes, yeah, it's beat up a little bit. And it's like, not really. It's like 6.5. But somebody took, hey, Ricky Ricardo, Comics at Law. So Rebecca told me somebody wound up striking that through with a marker. I'm like, that is like a really clean strike through. Like they must have used a ruler. And I tell my comic store owner, and she didn't know what she was talking about. Sorry, Rebecca, if you're watching, unlikely, because 5 people are watching. Remember, folks, this isn't Fight Club. It's okay to tell your friends. So this dropped this week, 1979 book, fine plus condition 6.5 raw, $146. It is down 61. This was easily going for around 200. It's you can get it under 150 now, maybe. So look out for it if you've been looking. Maybe not right after this show, because maybe a few other people are too. But let's face it, not too many people are watching it. We are not Comic Tom, because I have a voice for radio and a face also for radio. Next up, we have the top 5 comic spikes. And this first one here you might recognize because there's a reason why you've seen this thing here and you go, well, I just saw this at the comic shop this week. How did a new book go up so much? Because it was reprinted. Here's the reprint. I hate when they do these reprints sometimes because you don't quite know which one is the real one. Well, the real one has a wider face. It has this barcode here to the left. And the other one, it's like they took it in Photoshop and then just squashed the face. So it looks like a much longer face. It looks more like Sarah Jessica Parker. I did not just say that. Well, in any case, this book here came out in 2011 as a classic. near mint condition raw. It is just it's not even really a key. It's just a classic cover featuring the Joker. That's really cool. It's been homaged quite a lot, but why it has been going for like $200+ for the last several years is still beyond me. I picked it up for cover price because to me, it was just the next issue coming out. So this thing came up. Not a lot. I mean, you're going to notice that the highest book that went up this week is just under $70, but this went up $19. It is $170. Number 5. Probably just because the new that one just came out.
Yeah.
Just remember the difference. The reprint is $3.99. The original is DC's old tagline, holding the line at $2.99. Number 4 is another book that went up a bit this week because I can't actually answer the because part. So this came out in 1992. Bane has been pretty cool. And yes, he just beat the ever-loving shit out of Batman in Absolute Batman in the latest issue. Sorry, spoilers. But if you thought that Batman getting his back broken by Bane was bad, this latest issue of Batman, you're like, is he gonna be okay? I actually had to question that reading it. I mean, just wow. Well, this thing, $86. It is up 26, but to be fair, a near mint copy just a couple of years ago was only $100. So it's down still, even though it's up. $86 is still about 15 under what it usually was going for. That was number 4.
Can I just interject? I just read the first collection of Absolute Batman.
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
graphic novel. And I really liked it. I love the art style. It's Scott Snyder. The one thing I have to say, and I wonder if you agree with me, Scott Snyder has a trope in the sense that it's always a conspiracy that Batman has to fight against, this underground conspiracy that everybody's involved in, and it's Batman against this conspiracy. Yeah, and I've seen it like in the Court of Owls. I've seen it.
I was just going to say, I didn't see that in the Court of Owls at all.
But then there was the Red Hood conspiracy as well. Like, I feel like I've seen it time and time again, that trope. So anyways, and then I saw it in Absolute Batman. If you've read the first little bit, there's this conspiracy going on that Batman's fighting against that's all around the world. Well, it was the mask, the Black Mask this time.
And Bruce somehow gets his fingers into every job around the city, so he knows the underground, the ins and outs, how buildings work, structural integrity. So he's an engineer too, and he surrounds himself by all his villains.
Yeah, no, I really like the story, so I'm not poo-pooing it. It was still an enjoyable read. It's just, I just couldn't believe it's like Scott Snyder's the same thing again. Like, I guess I'm just mystified that he does it every single time that I read a book from him. Every single arc, it seems to be like this omnipotent villain that can control everything in the city. Like even the Riddler, if you remember that Riddler when he took over Gotham, that storyline. And it was just, again, it was like Riddler controls everything. Like it's, yeah, anyways, I had to point it out because it's just like, I see it in every Scott Snyder book I read, sadly.
So at this point, you just wait for the story beats to occur and just hope to dear God that maybe he might go left instead of going right as he always does, or go right instead of left as he always does. Yeah. This next one here is, I can't fully make sense. The series is ongoing, and it's just that it's not a full huge issue. It's just that he looked like a regular Archer. So Brave and the Bold number, let's throw in there the number 3 because I accidentally deleted this the other day as I'm trying to type everything. So here we go. This is issue number 85 of Brave and the Bold. Our number 3 book is the debut of the new Green Arrow costume, also by Neil Adams. So before this, he didn't have facial hair. He just looked like a regular Robin Hood character. And then he updated it. And then they said, hey, that looks really good. Do you want to take over Green Lantern? Like no one's reading it. Okay. It's kind of like Neil Adams' story on Batman is similar to Paul Dini and Bruce Timm on Batman. They make a great Batman book, and all of a sudden they go, well, hey, you did such a great job on Batman, and you're really excited about it. Would you like to do Superman? Okay. That's what Green Arrow seems by comparison. Green Arrow's still really great and all with Green Lantern, but Batman was his bread and butter. So this thing here, 1969, fine condition, 6.0 raw, $80. It is up 40. I got this for $35 just earlier this year. So I know there's cheaper copies out there if you are looking.
Oh, I love that cover for sure.
Number 2, we have Daredevil. This one here is surprisingly a lot more than most of the other books surrounding this run. Like, there's not a lot of high dollar books when it comes to Daredevil. First 7 issues, of course. The Spider-Man issues, sure. Maybe even Gladiator because people remember the Bendis run. But then you get to Thor, and it's just miscommunication, but it's just a cool cover. And you wonder, Thor fighting a guy that just can hear really well and move really well, he's going to get squashed like a bug. Like, if he gets hit by that hammer once, he doesn't have armor. He's just going to turn into road pizza. So
Thor
I guess
Thor doesn't kill people, though. No, Thor's not going to kill him.
I mean, not purposely, but he might go, well, I expected he had superpowers. Why else is he dressed that way? I didn't think he was just a normal deaf guy or a blind guy. I didn't even know he was blind with the way that he moved. Lordy. So yeah, $79 from 1969. Very fine, 7.0 raw. It is up 42. And the number 1 book, I should be showing another book, but many people are going, this is some market manipulation. The number 1 book should be Batman Dark Patterns number 2, because that thing it's going anywhere between $30 to $80 online.
Whoa.
I'm going to let another week go by just to see if this is just an anomaly or if it's like the World's Finest 6 that I reported on several weeks ago, where that thing was just going up, up, up. No real reason why, just that most people were ordering the cover B and not so much the cover A. And now people are really getting into the Dan Mora art. So our number 1 book is Amazing Spider-Man number 119. It's a classic battle of Spider-Man versus Hulk. It's not even a real key. Sure, it's a fight with Spider-Man and Hulk, but there was another fight with Spider-Man and Hulk. Most people don't remember that fight as well because there was a bigger thing going on in issue 14 of Amazing Spider-Man, and that was the Green Goblin. Yeah. So here we are again with Spider-Man fighting the Hulk. And again, this is similar to the last one I just brought up. Spider-Man has superpowers, but Hulk is still a giant rage monster that should be able to turn Peter into road pizza. But somehow he doesn't. And for that, we thank you. So yeah, 1973 book, very fine minus. It's no Amazing Spider-Man 129. It's definitely not first. It's not first Punisher, not first Bullseye. It's no first appearance of anybody. It's just a classic battle. $143. It is up 68. If you can wait it out, I'm sure you can find one better, but chances are this was just one overeager fan going, oh, that looks really nice. I'm going to overbid. Well, it's okay to overbid if you really want it that bad, but if you have any long-term plan on selling it, you're going to go, I paid how much for that book, and you want to pay me how much? I overspent for that book. Well, that seems like a you problem. So don't overspend if you don't have to. Wait it out. As I always say, this list is intended to help collectors and readers determine if they should look for a particular comic or series online or wait 6 weeks, because after 6 weeks, usually it goes down because the spotlight goes elsewhere. And if it hasn't, wait 6 months. After 6 months, if it still hasn't gone down, you might as well just buy the son of a bitch, because chances are that is not going down anytime soon. So on that note, let's show some comics that we got over the course of this last week. Michael, did you pick up anything? I didn't get a lot.
I did, but they're graphic novels, as we like to call them. Just as a little.
Oh, you mean they're not floppies?
No, they're not floppies. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I can flop them though.
But they're still wavy.
They're wavy. So I just want. There was a chat on Facebook group, so I just want to kind of keep it going. Is Canadian people said, hey, we don't have like cheap graphic novels, we don't have organic priced books, we don't have ollies. If for people in the States, you guys know you've got ways to get graphic novels and reprints a lot cheaper than the rest of the world, because you have those outlets. Canada doesn't really have any of that. So the best we have is Amazon.ca. Sometimes goes on sale, but you can almost guarantee, probably same in the States, it's going to be damaged 50% of the time. And I can attest that that happens to me. 50% of the time, they ship it in a flimsy little envelope. Everything's crushed, and yeah, you've been waiting months for this graphic novel and you get crushed. But there is a little bookstore called Chapters, and once a year, if you have membership, you get a 30% discount on your birthday. So that's a big lead up to say, I got all my birthday graphic novel books coming in this week, so that's why I got a little bit of a haul. So it's the one time of year I can get them semi-cheap in Canada.
I mean, you are located in an area where all the comics coming out from the 1980s with that price variant, every single book that you have is worth more than most others.
Yeah, because of the Canadian. That's where we've talked about it a bit before. I've never understood why the Canadian price code bumps up the price, but I don't see the same with UK. UK, I feel it goes down. Like if you see a UK version,
that is
it goes
weird.
down. Doesn't make
I mean,
sense.
it's still within the same continent, so maybe it's just a little bias of some sort, but you see a 75 center from the 80s and it's like $10. You see the dollar on it showing that it's Canadian. Well, that $10 book is now a $30 book. So,
and it's one of those things for collectors. I would say to you, if it means something to you that you want that little Canadian variant, go for it. I would also say to the rest of you collectors, hey, the $10 version is the exact same book. Yeah, you can save some money if you don't get it. Personally, that wouldn't sway me if it was Canadian, not a Canadian. What's the cheaper version of it? I would go for it, but I understand it means more to certain people, like the direct market and the newsstand. That's a big deal. You know that, especially for certain keys. To me, it doesn't, like, I don't look at it and go, whoa, it's a newsstand, but the market says it's worth more. So I guess we have to value it more, but it's always weird to me that we're supposed to value it more. I understand it's rare. That's why we do, but hey, to me, it's the same book. Who cares? Okay. So one of the ones I got, so I've talked a little bit about this new volume collected. For collectors of graphic novels know this, DC has finally, after 15 years, said, hey, that Epic collection of Marvel looks like it's doing really well. Why don't we do our own Epic collection? So this is the DC Finest collection, and they're basically doing it very similar to the Epic collection. They're collecting whole segments of a book run, and they're doing it volume by volume, and they're not necessarily doing it in order. So just like the Epic collection, I think the very first Epic collection was an Iron Man from the 80s, like an 80s run. So it didn't start at the beginning and move its way up. It can basically go from the 80s, then do an Iron Man from the 60s, and then from 2000. It doesn't necessarily have to be in order, which is good and bad. I like it because, if you always start at number one and work your way up, you're always kind of going like, when am I going to get to the 80s? If this collection never sells good, they're going to stop the collection. I'm never going to get to the 80s. So that was the benefit of the Marvel Epic collection. And yeah, DC finally caught on and said, hey, let's try our own version. And I personally think it's a great way to collect these things, and I'm really happy about it. I hope they continue with it. A lot of collectors know DC collections fall by the wayside. They start collecting it in a certain format, then they give up. Unlike Marvel, they don't sell as well usually. So yeah, we're just hoping that it continues. So that's a long-winded way of saying this is the JSA, or actually it's just the Society of America, but it collects all-star comics. Now, I would say just quickly that these are not good stories. Why did I get it? So like these, you have to struggle through these, even though Fox Gardner, is it Gardner Fox or Fox Gardner? Hello. Hey, how you doing?
Gardner Fox. Hey,
Gardner Fox. So Gardner Fox wrote a lot of these. He had a long way to go before he became the Gardner Fox that we know and love, that became the best writer in the world. But these are fun for me for a historical point of view. This was the first superhero team. Very clunkily written. They didn't really function as a team, sadly, in these stories. There were basically 7 separate stories of the different superheroes, and then they would come together at the end to kind of beat up the villain that they were all fighting separately. But yeah, still love the collection. Glad they have it. Another DC Finest collection I got, Hawkman, the original appearance of the Silver Age Hawkman. This is worth having just for the Joe Kubert first issues. Then Murphy Anderson does the art on the later ones, but the highlight is definitely the Brave and the Bold stuff by Joe Kubert. And this is a bit timely with the Superman movie. This is a collection of Superboy comics. Again, you know, these are tales that these were written for children, and it's obvious they're written for children, and you have to take it with a grain of salt, but they're fun little kind of distractions. And these have Superboy in it and the first appearances of Crypto the Superdog. And the last collection is something I got into just because so the other actual way DC's collecting things is called a compendium. They also do the omnibus as well, but the compendium for money conscious people is a great cheap way to get a big collection of books. So they're usually around, I'd say 700 to 1,000 pages. I forget how much this one is. I think this is probably, if I had my glasses on, I think this is around 1,000, this one. Yeah, it goes up. Yeah, 840. So this is the second volume. So I'd never really read these when they came out in, I think, the 90s. And I'd heard about it and people talked about it, but I got the first compendium and fell in love with it. It was just a lot of fun. The art was great. The writing was smart. And anyways, yeah, so I picked up the second compendium, hoping it's as good as the first one. And it's written by Matt Wagner and Steven Seagal, and with art by Guy Davis. And it looks like Guy Davis kind of does the art all the way through, which is cool that you get that consistency. The fact that he stayed on the book all the way through. I, as a reader, love that because you get the consistency, you get the consistent creative team, and I really think it makes for a good collection when you can get the creative team sticking together. So yeah, those were my big pickups, my birthday order from Chapters. So that's our Barnes & Noble up here in Canada.
Which, if the whole rest of the group was here, I'd be going, all right, it's time to sing happy birthday to you. I'm not going to do the whole thing. But happy birthday. It's belated, but happy birthday.
Did we lose Ian already?
Yeah, he jumped on and then froze.
Oh, sorry, Ian.
No, he can come back. He was walking, so maybe he'll get back here soon enough. But you might have noticed right back there how I have this little arm. That's how I'm going to be shooting these shorts, because trying to hold on to them and flipping books and figuring out the timing on everything, not as easy as you'd think. But for those people that do watch our shorts, I thank you, because I've been doing them for about, 4 or 5 months now, almost daily. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check them out, I did do a little bit of a Rick roll to some of y'all, because I was doing a lot of techno music to a lot of it. And then not everybody listens to techno. So let's start doing some Marvel fanfare and Superman music. I got bored with that kind of quickly. So I started doing voiceovers. This is the first appearance of Conan the Barbarian in comic books. So I did a bunch of those. You guys like those more, so I'm doing more of those. If there's things that you would like to see, please let me know. If you want to see things changed up on Saturdays, I'm going to do these little tips. The last one I did was on no rusty staples. The one I'm doing for tomorrow morning, which I still have to shoot after the show, will be, if you can afford the comic book, you can afford to properly take care of them with Mylar and OPP or Mylights. You just don't want to be ruining a book that you spent God knows how much money and however many hours you've worked at work. So here we go. These are the books that I got this week. I didn't get a lot of stuff, but let's just go through it. Something of an order. Let's switch the camera around. Here we go. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Issue number 1 from 2010. This thing just finished up this year, meaning that it was canceled at issue 132, where it looks like the bad guy from The Incredibles is a judge on the cover. If you see it, pick it up. It's the final issue, and it was definitely low print, because how many of these were printed? Under 7,000. It's like 6,158 or 57. I could be wrong. But yeah, this was right around the same time that you had a Scooby-Doo animated show on Cartoon Network that when I was dating this girl, her kid wanted to watch it all the time. And I started watching it and I went, this is actually pretty good. It's not just a bunch of one and dones. It had an overarching storyline with Fred and Daphne and even Velma. I mean, Scooby and Shaggy are just always Norval and Scoob. Oops. And I keep hitting things. All right. Here is Cave Woman Meets the Explorers, where Bud Root did at least the Cave Woman on it.
What?
I'm not so familiar with the Explorers, but if we had Miracleman here, I'm sure he could explain. But no, I don't have anything to say after that. These are a couple issues of Wonder Woman that I was missing and needed. This is a Phil Noto cover.
Nice cover.
I always love a woman that looks like she could kick my ass. Which, judging by my knees, I mean, like a child could just kick me in my knee and I'll go down like a bag of rocks.
I would pay to see that.
Please don't. This is the second appearance of Cassie Sandsmark. Who's that? That one of the Wonder Woman family members. She used to look really weird looking, and then all of a sudden she's this hot blonde teen, and now she's a hot blonde 20, 30. People age weird in comics. But when she first started out, she had like curly, frizzy hair, giant glasses, and she idolized Wonder Woman. And now she's like a sister.
Oh.
Now, this was a big pickup because, I mean, I paid $30. Maybe it was 25. This is a 1 in 50 from 2015, from the Marvel Now era. So a 1 in 50 on a print run back then, there are not many of these floating around out there. How would I know that? Because nobody was buying comics in 2015. Back then, people were getting Walking Dead. That is what propped up comics. If it wasn't for that, comic stores would have gone out of business. So people that were like myself and Michael and people like you out there watching at home that have been reading comics for not just the last few months, but years and years and years, you kind of get to realize when the market is up and when it's really down. Oh, hey, Randall. Good to see you, buddy. So we already did top 10. Well, you can see that on the rewind. I help him get, I was trying to help him once get a Daredevil. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but I had to talk his store owner into holding it for him.
That's funny.
All right. So this one here, let's just say that if back in between 2005, 2015, the average print run on a first issue of a book that wasn't Spider-Man was right around 20,000. And then each consecutive issue would go down, down, down. So let's just say that maybe 10,000 of these were around, because right around a couple years prior to this was The Legend of Blue Marvel, where the first issue had a print run of like 12,000 and then it settled around 8,000. This was a couple years after. This is before the movies. The Born Again variant. That's it. So this thing here at 1 in 50, there might be 500-600 of these, maybe. So for $25, yeah, I will pick up those ratio variants. The ones that are coming out today when they have print runs of 60, 80,000, it doesn't mean as much. And truly, it's just manufactured rarity. It's not real rarity. It's not like they only printed 100 of these and went, well, let's go home. This was just one of the issues I was missing. Issue 110 of Invincible Iron Man. This has an appearance of Jack of Hearts inside early on.
Jack of Hearts. They really tried to push him. He never really caught on.
No, they tried push him in the 80s. They tried again with a miniseries in the 90s. And I mean, I liked what they were doing with him in She-Hulk. And we, at some point, thought in the She-Hulk TV show, he might even show up. Never happened. But I liked what happened to him during the Brian Michael Bendis run. Didn't he blow up? Yeah, that happened. So this is Gerard. You might know him as Mobius. Marvel Age book. And, you know, it has a little bit of damage there. Has a little bit of damage up there. But 6.5 raw for $5. Yeah, I'll take it. It's Mobius. This guy influenced film. I mean, Spielberg knew who he was. Yeah. Mobius. Get this, get Silver Surfer Parable.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that. You got to have at least one Mobius in your collection if you're a true comic book fan. Yeah, he's an amazing artist.
And if you don't get that and you're like, I don't like superheroes, well, get the Incal. The Incal is sci-fi and it is wild. Like if you ever watch The Fifth Element, it's like that, but better. I'm seeing an ant because we have had quite a lot of rain lately. All right, this is not a ratio variant, but it's going for a little bit more just due to the fact that it has some guy in a metal mask and some green tunic that he always seems to like wearing. Well, it's a variant from Secret Wars 5. This is the first nameless one. This gets going the storyline that gets us to the Defenders, because this is the first time I wanted to call him Swamp Thing for a second.
Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange, thank you. Doctor Strange and Submariner meet, and they later go on to form the Defenders. But this is way back when he's wearing that stupid looking mask.
No, I love the mask. I'm looking, I think it's 177, Doctor Strange. That's one of the keys I want, where he first shows up in the mask. I agree. It's so horrible, but it's so horrible I love it. It circles around to being amazing to me. That's how horrible it is.
I kind of want to read it just to find out if it feels like the Marvel Cinematic Universe where people are running around going, why are you wearing that mask, dude? That looks weird.
From my memory, and people can correct me, they were trying to go like, well, he needs a secret identity too. He can't just walk around and people know who he is. But I think the truth is he battles on such a different level. People don't see him in the news. Like, he's not fighting Doc Ock. He's fighting in the astral plane. So I think that was the excuse. It's like, who cares if people know what he looks like? Because yeah, they're not going to think, oh, he's a superhero, because they never see him superheroing. Anyway,
see Woodard newsstand. Well, I'm going to be picking that up eventually because I want that full first run of Doctor Strange, even though it's kind of truncated, starting at 178, 179.
Yeah, it's because it follows after Strange Tales. Yeah.
I have a lot of the Strange Tales, and you can get the Strange Tales 110 now for under 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit, things have fallen off a cliff. This is the first appearance of Lyra. Who's that? She was in the movie. I don't remember her. Exactly. This is not the first appearance of a Super Skrull. That happens in Fantastic Four. But he appears in Thor. It's kind of fun. And it's Kirby-ish. Here's another Thor I was missing.
Nice cover. I like that one.
And here's a Loki appearance I was missing. Still need a Journey 85, but that you can also get for under 1,000 now too. Ooh, only 5 more issues to complete your subby run.
Yeah.
It always feels good when you finish off a run, but it also carries that connotation from the end of the movie Truman Show. You know what I mean? Where he walks off the stage and then everybody at home are applauding and crying. And then after the high wears off, it's, what else do we have to collect?
It's true.
Hey, I just finished off Amazing Spider-Man, the full run. I even got Amazing Fantasy 15. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. I guess I'm going to start collecting Journey into Mystery next.
Yeah. What's my next thing? That's why I went to Lego. That's why I started to go to Lego, because it's like, I've got most of my key issues. I'll start collecting Lego now.
Yeah, I was kind of getting to be the same way where, I mean, when comics started getting really stupidly priced, where we're watching things that you used to be able to get for under $100 going for over $1,000, that's where I was saying, I'm just going to invest in upgrading my collection. It's like getting better comics? No, I mean, putting it into Mylar. It's like whenever things are going for stupid amounts of money, put your money elsewhere, because chances are it'll come back down eventually, because nothing is ever on a constant upwards ascent.
Only spend what you have, guys. That's why Rob is being responsible and saving up for a super key issue and putting a little money aside every month so he can finally afford to buy that. We're not going to mention the issue because he's worried somebody's going to snatch it away from him.
Not from the guy who I'm getting it from, because I mentioned his name only like a half a dozen times. But it's more that sometimes, no matter how much you want to try saving up for something, life always seems to get in the way. Sick cat, have to bring it into the vet. Car, not necessarily breaks down, but you take it in for service, and buddy, don't you know you need new brake pads, and don't you know you need a new air filter, and don't you know, and don't you know, and don't you know, and before you know it, you're walking out the door $800 poorer. Yeah. We try, but it's when we finally get that book that we go, we have it. What else is there?
That is sad because I had to replace my furnace and air conditioning. I didn't have to, but they were getting old, so I might as well do it before they just, especially the furnace. In Canada, you don't want to wait for the furnace to break down and then go, I need a new furnace. You want to go, okay, these only last like 20 years. It's 19 years old. I think I'm going to get a new furnace before. Anyways, but I was thinking, oh my God, what comic book keys could I have bought instead of buying a furnace and an air conditioning? I could have bought the first appearance of the Justice League of America. Oh, that would have been much nicer.
Oh God, this guy on YouTube, I think it's Keston. He has these older dealers and collectors that way back in the day would have gotten those Detective 27 multiple copies. And he was talking about how he was going to sell a Superman 1 to somebody, but this guy was saying, yeah, I've been saving up all this money, but I can't buy my kid diapers. I'm like, buy your kid the fucking diapers.
Yeah. No,
your kid will hate you. The comic will still probably be there. Nothing's so rare except like maybe a Superman 1. But even a Superman 1's not that rare.
No, and here's my philosophy. You don't have to follow it. If you have a partner in your life, like a wife, don't go behind. If you have to go behind her back to buy something, you're probably not doing something good. Make sure it's up front. You're probably combining finances. If you're spending X like 10,000, 20,000 on a book, is that really fair for your family? So anyways, yeah, I think you have to be, when you have a family like me, you have to be responsible. It's okay for you to have your own little mad money to spend on comic books and do things like that. But yeah, I would never like, yeah, we can't make the mortgage payment this month, honey, because I decided.
Hey, I got Hulk 181.
Did it?
Yeah, we're going to be thrown out of here.
Why are you crying, honey? Why don't you understand how great it is? So anyways, different people's philosophies, but greetings. Hi. Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, I think it's important for me, just for my guilt factor. I only want to spend things I feel comfortable with. And as Rob says, things go up and down. Even if it goes down, I never want to feel like, oh my God, what did I just do? I spent all this money on it. I want to be able to say, hey, even if it goes down, it's not the end of the world. I didn't invest all my money into this. That's not what I was counting on for my retirement plan.
And let's face it, we're living in a world right now where nothing is assured, and we don't know what could happen from one day or even 1 week to the next. And we're about to see 19 states get invaded by terrorists. I mean, ICE, same thing. So, I mean, people are losing jobs. So saving a little bit of extra money is helpful. But the thing that I noticed way back in 2000, I think 12 or 13, 2013 is when I lost my job at Swiss Watch International, and I got to find out how long I could last without a paycheck. And that was 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
And that was after I didn't have a lot of big books back then, but the ones that I did have were the ones that went first, and it kept me in my apartment for about another 6 weeks, because I was a heavy alcoholic back then too. So yeah, I sold off the Hulk 181. I think I got $80 for that back in 2013. It was like a 3540, but still. The Iron Man 1 I got rid of Moon Knight 32 or Werewolf by Night 32. I eventually got it back again. But a lot of these things, they can always keep us where we are. So it's great to invest in that, because if you don't have it in the bank, you're not spending it on random bullshit like, hey, I want to buy my 5th drink of Monster Energy drink today. Do you really need that? I'm going to supersize that. Do you really even need to go to fast food that's like 3 times the amount that it was back in 2020? spend it on comics. That way, one day, if anything bad happens, hey, there you go. That was my thought, and I could be wrong. You tell me.
I don't know. All I know is the other thing people talk about in the comic book community: who am I going to bequeath my collection to when I die? And I've already talked to my daughters about it. I told them, no stress. You do whatever you want with it. I'm not expecting you to get the value. I obviously don't want you to be ripped off. I've got a little list of how much they're worth and how much I paid for them. But other than that, do what you want to do with it. Yeah, I definitely don't want to burden them to say, guys, there's 4,000 comics. Good luck. I expect you to at least get $500,000 from these guys. So yeah, you definitely don't expect your descendants to care as much about comics as you do.
The chances are it's going to be like that scene in I've already forgotten the name of the damn show, the elementary school, Abbott Elementary, where you have this one substitute teacher turn everything into cutouts and collage. Let's hope that they don't have a child where they go, look, mommy, I made a collage.
As long as I'm dead, that's okay. I won't know. I won't know.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Ducks Comics.
We're going to be wrapping up the show soon, but there were a couple things that we watched this week, and we put it in the header of the show. I could have put K-pop Demon Hunters in the header of the show, but that might have scared off some people that have not seen it yet. So I split the baby because I pay attention to attorneys, and they do that all the time. Or rather, the judges do that. Whenever you think that you're going to win something, chances are when it goes into the legal world, it's just a giant negotiation where if either side is unhappy, but happy also a little bit, then the judge feels they did the right job. So I split the baby and put Peacemaker. So we did watch Peacemaker. You watched Peacemaker, right?
No, I don't have. I told you I don't have Crave.
Oh,
that's the.
Well, I'm going to spoil it a little bit.
No, go for it. Go for it.
All right. So it looks like during the orgy scene, Peacemaker wanders into an alternate reality where his father's still alive, his brother's still alive. He's not a complete fuck up, and he's emotional because he lost his father. He had to kill his own father. He's a Nazi, and his brother was killed while he was young. He was a prick. Why he likes these people at all, who knows? But it's family and it's nostalgia, so he's like, this is still a really good world, but that other good world is where the new DC universe is. Oh. See, when the last season ended and he meets the Justice League, that's the previous universe. So this new universe he goes into, he accidentally brings him back. And by him, I'm talking about other Peacemaker. It becomes Peacemaker against Peacemaker until one of them dies. The decent one from the good universe from the new Superman movie. He just died. So you know what's going to happen next? That's where they ended the episode. We have no idea. Oh. But if you're a comic fan, you kind of have an idea where it's going. I'm guessing that everybody that feels like a fuck up from that universe is going to little by little turn into like Fringe, if you remember that TV show. They're just going to infiltrate that universe and go, yeah, my guy seems to have like a really good life. Hey, you look just like me. Can you come over here? By the way, does this rag smells like chloroform? Hey, I got life now. So it looks like it's fun. It's not basing it off of any particular run of comics. Like if you wanted to try and look up old issues of Peacemaker, first, don't. It's not well written. Even the ones from the 80s. There's even an issue, I think it might have been New Guardians, where it had his father dressed up as the big white dragon Nazi character. Went from a $3 book to $20. Don't even get that. Don't bother. I mean, sure, Fighting 5, number 40, if you wanted that first Peacemaker, have at it. It's about a $200-$300 book. Before John Cena was cast in the role, you could have gotten it for $10. Plus, most of those books were beat all to hell because they were Charlton comics. But so that's neither here nor there.
It was a good start to the season.
It was a good start. You don't need to have watched the new Superman movie. It helps to have watched the previous season of Peacemaker. You might be a little thrown off if you're watching it and you didn't watch the first season because they do allude to the butterflies, and you'll go, was that a big demon? It's like, no, they were actually fucking butterflies. They were just aliens. So you don't necessarily have to have watched the first season. You can jump right into this, but they will do a couple references here and there. But it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and I can't wait to watch it next week.
Now, question: the side characters, I don't know their names, sadly. There was the
I can't remember either.
There was his best friend, the black woman. There was James Gunn's wife, who's the blonde. Are they
she lost her job.
She what?
So, yeah, she was working for the government. Amanda Waller was put away, but she has enough connections that anybody that helped put her away, she's ruined their life. Okay. So I can't remember the black woman that was helping out either, but she is trying to get just a decent job. They even make a jokes like, hey, working at Foot Locker. Oh, yeah, her daughter. So they can't kill her, but she's just making her life not pleasant. Then you have Vigilante that is working like at a convenience store, and he's cleaning out the back, and everybody hates him. So he's likely to probably infiltrate the new universe. The black girl probably help infiltrate the new universe. Rick Flag, who doesn't have white hair from the new animated
Commandos.
So we're going to learn how he gets it in this, but I have it on good accord that the actor Frank Grillo is kind of a cunt. From anybody that's ever worked for him or with him on other movies, I'm listening to them on Blue Sky, just tear him a new asshole. If you're a nice guy, I'm sorry. But at the same time, we kind of also now know why the Crossbones character in Marvel just didn't pan out. They scrapped that because sometimes it just pays to be somebody easy to work with. Then hey, let me push you around. Don't you know who I am? It's like, no, nobody knows who you are.
Well, and flip side, as a little quick, Nathan Fillion, I feel he gets role after role after role because people love working with them. And it's like, yeah, give him another series. We love him.
It's like, oh, you have to do more Bones. Like, yeah, I bring in donuts. I'm like Dexter, but without the murdering people part.
So question. So all those side characters, we're seeing them from the old universe, the original season 1 universe. We haven't seen their new versions yet. We haven't seen their new versions yet.
So far, they've only gone into the new universe so that Peacemaker could see the rest of his family. Okay. But there are like headlines on TV where it shows you that all these other people really appreciate and like Peacemaker. And that, I mean, another little nuance is that in this other universe, James Gunn's wife, who is like the love interest, they were a couple. They were together and then they broke up. And even his brother goes, yeah, you should try and get back together with her. She was one of the good ones. But at the beginning of this episode, the one from the bad universe and the bad movies of the DC, she just got fired. And that was part of that scene where you see her like punching the dashboard repeatedly. You have toxic masculinity, but I'm a woman.
That's funny. Okay, so that's that. Thumbs up for that. So we were talking about at the beginning. So K-pop Demon Hunters, we both recommend it, even though we're middle-aged white males. Why do I like it? The story is quickly summarized. Is this K-pop female group? 3 of them. They are supposed to fight the demons. There's no backstory to it. Well, there's a little bit of backstory vaguely, but it's just basically you accept the fact that they know how to fight demons. They're amazing at fighting demons. I guess do we even know why they have special superpowers and can fight demons so well? I don't feel that's ever explained, but we just accept.
I'm just going to guess like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's been a long lineage of fighters and they all just happen to sing too.
They're really good at it. And the basic idea is that there's this barrier between the demon world and our world. And the more they sing and the more they bring people together through their song, the barrier gets stronger and stronger. And they're trying to make it so strong it becomes the golden barrier and no demons can get through. Meanwhile, the demons are fighting back with their own demon boy band. And the demon boy band, they're trying to win the fans over so that the barrier becomes weaker and weaker and weaker so that our souls are taken to the demon world. That's the basic plot. Why is it good? Great animation, fun. It's fun, good humor. The humor lands, I feel. I don't always say that. I think some people try to write for humor and it doesn't land. The songs
also,
are fun.
It doesn't feel like it was written by a committee going, well, we got to check this box and this box. I mean, yes, it did get to a point where everybody's happy, they're together, they're like family, and then it gets to such a low point that it definitely feels as though the writers for this were big fans of, well, a couple things, but Doctor Who. When you see the Doctor get kidnapped by the Master and he's held in a teeny tiny cage, and the entire world has to just think of the Doctor, and that's the only way to save the world, because otherwise the world's going to end, folks. It felt that bleak at one moment. But then 10 minutes later and zero conversations, the power of song kind of saves the day, because never underestimate 10 minutes later and zero conversations.
Yeah. And so what I would say, is this movie change the way I look at movies? No, it's not like the best movie I've ever seen. Like Sinners affected me a lot more, is like, ooh, this is new and different. This is, this is, the beats are very similar. Like as Rob says, you can almost predict the beats. There's going to be high, low, and then come back. But it's a fun movie. And I think, I personally like it too, because it's kind of sweeping the world right now. It's one of those novel things everybody's talking about. And I love that. Kind of like Squid Games, I feel, was like that, kind of sweeping the world. Everybody was like, what Squid Games? What Squid Games? Was it the best series I've ever seen? No, but it's kind of fun to see these things, to say, hey, what's pop culture really like right now? And right now, that K-pop Demon Hunters is one of the big things on the horizon. So yeah, it's fun to watch. It won't definitely change your life. And if you don't like musicals, I guess I'd say stay away from it, because there's definitely a lot of music, but it's fun little anime. The funniest thing for me that stood out, it's kind of a manga kind of treatment. So when the hot boy band comes on, the girls in the girl band see them and they get corn in their eyes. And then the men are so hot, the corn becomes popcorn. And then at one point, the popcorn's coming out of the person's eye and the other girl's eating the popcorn. Why do I mention this? Because it's so crazy and insane, but it's just one of those things in anime that it's like, yeah, this is how they express their emotions. This popcorn's coming out of their eyes. That's how hot the guys are. And you've just got to accept it. If you accept it on a reality basis, it's like, what is going on here? For popcorn. But it's one of those things that for manga and these little anime tropes, yeah, they do crap like that. And you just, as Westerners, it's a little different style for us, but yeah, it's fun to watch if you've never seen it before.
It was kind of like back in the late 90s when we started seeing the infusion of anime coming over to America with Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. It was tropes, and they were heavily fortified over in Japan, but they were story elements that here in America we never really saw before, and it was interesting. So right now we're seeing a whole generation of kids watching this going, I don't know what K-pop is. I barely even know what anime is anymore, because I got so accustomed to watching these shows on Disney or on Hulu or all these other things that it feels like it's something new, even though if you've watched Macross, Do You Remember Love, but Macross Plus, it had a lot of elements that felt like that. Even some of the song beats felt like everybody takes their inspiration from somewhere, and just learning that somebody has spent so much time in their life only to be told no, 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 no. And then finally they're going, hey, well, here's a production. You're not even really going to sing. And then it starts getting made. You're writing the song lyrics. And you as a vocal coach go to sing part of it, and they're like, yeah, we like our voice actor, but we want you to sing the lyrics to these. So that opening song that solidifies the movie with Golden, that's when the story really kicks in. It was at that moment where you go, oh, so this is why I really like it, because somebody was given that opportunity that they didn't have before, and it paid off. It's kind of like if you read Walking Dead, the first 3 issues, it feels like there's a lot going on. And then as time goes by, it decompresses a lot more. But at those first 3 issues, Robert Kirkman was like, I had zero idea if this thing would go even past 3 issues. Then I get to issue 5, so I just keep throwing more stuff into it. And he would have made it last a lot longer if he knew it would have been successful. So it kind of felt like this watching this movie, where the first maybe 10 minutes when they're in the air and they've been taken over by very, very not scary demons, it sets up the plot, but it feels like anybody that might not be into K-pop, which I'm not, you're just waiting for the story to kick in, and it's okay, I guess this movie's happening. And then Golden hits, where you find out that, oh, the lead character is part demon. That's when the story kicks in. And from there on out, I had a giant smile on my face that I haven't had in a long time watching animated movies. When most things are bleak or depressing, this gives a good message, and it's funny, it's heartwarming, and I highly recommend it to people if they haven't watched it already.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is, because it's an hour and a half movie, I love the speed it was coming at me. So while you can say it's like, wow, it just starts off and they're demon hunters and they're on a plane and they're fighting demon, like it's really like we're just starting in the middle. The good news is it doesn't take a lot to kind of jump onto the story. It's like, we know these tropes. So it's like, oh yeah, they're demon hunters and they're going to fight the demons. Okay, got it. You don't need any backstory for that. Yeah, we accept that and we can move on from there. So I do appreciate the speed that the story started with. They didn't have to spoon feed me. And I feel that's, as a little aside, I feel Western storytelling has to spoon feed you a little bit more. I feel like Eastern and Britain, and in Britain too, they're more likely to say, hey, you'll catch up. It's okay. We're going to start in the middle of the story. You'll catch up later and you'll figure it out. So yeah, they give their audience a little bit more credit than I think Western storytelling does, which typically...
Oh, look at the new Superman movie. It started right after Superman got his ass kicked for the first time. And I appreciate that, where just start in the middle of the story, we'll catch up. How much do we really need to know about these? Do we need to go through every nitty gritty detail of their formation, or just let's hit the ground running? We will catch up. They fight demons. They're in a group and they sing. They have powers. We're done. We don't need to know more than that. The magical girl element. If a little girl has watched this and they've never seen a magical girl series, this is their first one. And let's face it, anybody growing up, you never know what's going to be your first thing that makes you go, oh my God, I love this. And now I got to find out everything about this and that genre and everything. And maybe it'll lead them to comic books. And that's why we're talking about a little bit tonight, because we're trying to pull y'all into reading comics too. It's all creativity. So do you have anything you want to leave the audience with?
No, that was it. Find something new on a streaming service that you've never seen before and dig into it. So yeah, find something that excites you. So yeah, it's me and Rob are excited. Like Peacemaker, this silly K-pop movie. It's fun. It's fun to find something new and exciting to just make you happy for a little while.
I think we spent 4 minutes, maybe 5 on Peacemaker. It's rare when I get excited about something. I haven't been excited about a project like this since maybe Black Mirror. I mean, Black Mirror, finding that, discovering that. Discovery is great when you're finding something that nobody's talking about, and all of a sudden you have this gem in your hand and you're going, wow, I can't wait to tell everybody about this. Then you go onto YouTube and you're watching people dressing up in cosplay. When you have cosplayers, you have a hit on your hands.
Well, it's
so if they release a comic book of this,
how long has this been out? Because already I
June.
see it. What?
That's it, June.
Yeah, I already see thousands of videos on it. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. It's like it's sweeping the nation, because yeah, it's grabbed hold of culture. And yeah.
Oh, I screwed up my algorithm on YouTube entirely by going, oh, now I need to know more about the songwriter and EJ. Now every time I pull up YouTube, instead of a bunch of comic book stuff and archaeology, it's, hey, here's some archaeology, here's a couple comic books. K-pop Demon Hunter, K-pop Demon Hunter, K-pop Demon Hunter. Hey, do you want to watch somebody dress up? Do you want to watch somebody do their rendition singing? Do you want to hear a vocal coach criticize it? I'm not hearing a single criticism negatively. I'm hearing people they're crying when they're talking about the song Golden, where she can belt out an A5 register, which is like Elphaba in Wicked. This beats Wicked. I mean, the 2 big movies this year coming up for Oscars. For animated film, it'll likely be K-pop Demon Hunters. For best film, it'll probably be Sinners versus Wicked Part 2. Wicked Part 1 didn't win. There's a likelihood it'll win. But this might be the year of the musical, and I'm not a fan of musicals. I chose techno.
Yeah, it's so true what
Here
Rob
we
just
are.
said and Doc's Comics just said. It's like as soon as you look at one video, it's like, oh, you like that. So I spend the next day going, not interested, not interested. Algorithm, please, no, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have watched that video. I admit my mistake. Please, no more. Yeah.
I mean, like one time I tried looking up how do I fix a chain on a bicycle, and it screwed my algorithm all up. So sign into an alternative account, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay, well, that's all
But
I
that has
got.
been our show tonight. And I want to, Michael, thank you so much for coming tonight. Everybody that is on our show, they are dealing with some things in their life. So hopefully everything is going okay with everybody else. I know that Ian showed up a few minutes ago, but everybody has something going on right now. It's the dead of summer. So we thank you all for watching us. Lady, Miracleman, Tacoma, if you're out there watching, we love you. We're hoping for the best. And otherwise, thank you all for watching. Following this show, you could probably check out the low grades. They should be live right now at 10 o'clock. One Collection Down usually does something over at Fable's channel. Cliff on Comics was just on a little bit earlier, and Jig's Kingdom might be going on later. And if he does, you'll be seeing me in this suit because it was pouring rain and I got home with very little time to change, and that's why I look this spiffy. But I think that this Saturday might be the whale auction, unless that was last week. And if it's not the whale auction, usually Astonishing Comics has some pretty good stuff, and the comic market's been so down that you'll get some deals. Otherwise, we'll be back on Old Comic Book Day next Friday, the 29th, because let's face it, if it's not New Comic Day, every day is Old Comic Day. And thank Doc. That's Kevin Freeman out there. If you're not subscribed to him, he is over at KSFPHD on Blue Sky, and he's also over on YouTube. Check him out. He does great videos. He's very knowledgeable, and I mean, he's putting out a lot of content, so do make sure to check him out. Otherwise, let us know if you have any of the issues that we have displayed tonight. Let us know in the comments if you watch K-Pop Demon Hunter or Peacemaker. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about, the other ongoing shows, which is Alien Earth. Gotta watch that. And the next episode of Peacemaker. But otherwise, drop us a comment if there's anything you want to see on the show. And you can find me over at Blue Sky at Not Near Mint. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Love you all so much. Love you. Bye. Oh, wait.